So students, in our last class under chapter body fluids and circulation, we have learnt circulatory pathways. Let us just see what we have learnt in last class. Circulatory pathways, how blood is circulated, blood and lymph is circulated in all the different animals. We have discussed, like in fishes. In fishes it is single circulation. We just recall, it is called single circulation because blood comes only once to the heart, and it is incomplete circulation also because in the heart oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood is not separated. Here in case of fishes, as we have learnt, only deoxygenated blood, only once it comes to the heart. How it gets oxygenated? From the heart, carbon dioxide mixed blood, that is deoxygenated blood, goes to gills, and gills will oxygenate that blood. Means gills will provide oxygen to the blood, then oxygen mixed blood from the gills, it goes to all the body parts. That is what we have learnt. So next what we have learnt is in reptiles and in amphibians, that is in fishes and reptiles, except crocodile. Crocodile is exception because crocodile has a 4-chambered heart, but remaining reptiles have 3-chambered heart. 3-chambered heart means only 2 auricles and only 1 ventricle is there, and here mixing of carbon dioxide and oxygen happens here because the organism can tolerate mixing of carbon dioxide and oxygen, what we have learnt in last class. Then it is called incomplete double circulation. Then in human beings, especially in birds and in mammals, we see complete circulation and it is double circulation. Why it is complete? Because in human heart there is a dividing wall in the center of the heart, that is called septum. Today we are going to learn about the structure of heart and details of structure of heart. So one dividing wall is there which separates left part of the heart from right part of the heart, so that oxygen and carbon dioxide doesn't mix, they are completely separated. That is why it is called complete circulation. Why it is called double circulation? Because blood comes twice, 2 times to heart, so it is called double circulation. So today we are going to learn human circulatory system, only human circulatory system. So space is not enough here, I have to draw the diagram here, heart, cross section of heart. So I'll rub this, what we have learnt in last class. So we are going to learn human circulatory system. So where I have to draw cross section of heart, that is, I'll write here section or sectional view of a heart. Section of a heart. First we will label, we will draw and label. First I will draw what diagram is there in the textbook. Then I will draw one simple diagram also. Okay. And I will teach you how to draw that simple diagram of heart. If you follow this diagram only, what is there in the textbook, it is well and good. But if you can't follow, if it is difficult to draw, then you can follow one more diagram which I am going to draw now. Okay, first let us see sectional view of heart, what textbook is showing. Okay, slowly you can start drawing along with me. Okay, slowly you can start drawing along with me. or without drawing this you can't explain. Sorry. Okay, you can slightly make it broader also if you want. Okay. This is what I am talking about, septum here. If you draw along with me, it is good, so that you will exactly come to know what is the difficulty in drawing this. Then you can follow one more diagram which I am going to draw. Okay, this is also simple diagram, but step by step you should follow this diagram. It is up to you which diagram you follow. This is exactly what diagram is there in the textbook I am drawing now. Okay, so space is not enough, so I'll rub this. I'll write down. Here I'll write. Okay, so this is what is textbook diagram. I have to draw vena cava also. So this is exactly textbook diagram. One special part is there here, so I am showing in different color. I'll explain what is that called. Then here one special part is there. A special part there. This is one diagram. If you want to follow one more diagram also, you can. That is the easiest diagram. Okay, so you just have to draw a tilt here, slightly away from the center. Okay, whichever diagram you want, you can follow. It is your wish. This is easy diagram, what is there in the eye. So in the center, just to show dividing septum. Whichever diagram you want, you can follow. So here I am showing inferior vena cava, superior vena cava. There also you can see they are showing inferior and superior vena cava here. Same thing here, they are showing dividing wall. Here also I am showing dividing wall. Okay, so here you have to show two openings, that is pulmonary vein. Here also you can see they are showing two pulmonary veins here. And from the right part of the heart, see this is left part. Okay, why? Because see I am standing in front of it, I am standing in front of the heart, so this is left side. For you, when you are looking from there, this looks like right, isn't it? But actually this is a left side, because you should stand in front of it and see your heart. My heart is here, left part of my heart is here, so I am showing left here, so this is right side. Same here, this is right, this is left. Okay, from two sides, left and right side, two tubes will go and it will cross like a X mark and go. See, from this it should go here and come down, and from here it should go this side. So it is exactly like a cross. This is easy diagram. Okay, so from here you have to show valves here, bicuspid valve or atrioventricular valve. Already you know this diagram from 10th standard, you have already learnt it. So valves you should show valve. This is the same thing what they are showing here. These lines what you see is the same thing. Okay, so from this side, from the left side, a tube from the ventricle goes up and comes here. That is, what is that? That is aorta, largest artery. You can show only till here. Aorta. What they are showing here, this is aorta they are showing. Okay, so this side it went to this side and went back. Then from here it should go there, that side. So from the right side ventricle it goes here and produces two branches. So that is like this. And these are pulmonary arteries, what you see here they are showing. These two are pulmonary arteries, these two are pulmonary veins. Here also same thing, these two are pulmonary arteries, these two are pulmonary veins. Same thing I am showing. You can produce the branch of that can go here and produce branches. Okay, so this is one simplest diagram what you see here. Okay, same thing what they are showing here, they are showing one special part, that is here, and one more part they are showing, that is from here. No, it goes here, then it branches. So same thing, whichever diagram you want you can follow. Okay, this is exactly textbook diagram what is there. This is just for your understanding, easy way of drawing heart. Whichever you want you can follow. Like you know that heart is a muscular organ, So what we are learning here is human circulatory system. So human circulation means transportation of blood. So transportation of blood is because of one special organ present, that is a pumping organ which pumps blood to all the body parts, that is heart. And heart is a muscular organ made of special cardiac muscles. Now, what is the location, where it is located? It is located in the thoracic region. You know what is thorax means? Chest portion. This is the thoracic region. Okay. So in between lungs, you know already this position while drawing respiratory system. In between two lungs, I was showing the position of heart, if you remember. So in between the lungs it is located. Okay, so from which part of which layer it is originated? Like in Animal Kingdom chapter you have learned that there are three layers, no? Ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. Outer layer is called ectoderm, that is cells are arranged in outermost layer in animals, in human beings. That is skin is ectoderm, the outermost layer of the body, that is ectoderm. Then innermost layer is there, that is called endoderm, that is a inner wall of stomach, intestine, all that. Then in between that, wherever organs are there, all the organs are located, blood is there, that is called mesoderm. So heart is produced by mesoderm, so it is called mesodermally derived, mesodermal in origin. Okay, that means mesoderm produces, the middle layer of the cells produces heart. Okay, so and slightly it is tilted to the left. You can see that. See this point, we are not showing in the center. See, if I draw a line, the center comes here, but it is away from the center. See, heart we are showing slightly tilt that side, no? You see pointed tilt that side. You see that is slightly curved or oblique. So it has a tilt on left side. And heart is covered by double layers, two layers outside. Okay, so one more layer is there here, two layers are there outside, that is called pericardium. Okay, now there is no space for labeling also. The outermost layer is called pericardium. I'll rub this. So this is the diagram I was just showing you. For your understanding. So I'll rub this because I have to write information about the heart, so there is no space. So I'll just label all the parts one by one. First we discussed about the location of heart. It is located in the chest portion, thoracic region, in between the lungs. Okay, so and it is mesodermally derived. Mesoderm produces heart. Then what about the size of heart? It is a size of clenched fist. Size of clenched fist. Fist means like size of this. We say andre ಒಂದು ಕೈ ಮುಷ್ಟಿ ಎಷ್ಟು. This is the size of heart. Okay, when you fold, this is fist, clenched fist means folded. Fist size is size of heart. Okay, then I was saying heart is muscular organ. It is covered by two layers outside, and that layer is called pericardium. This you knew in 10th standard itself. Pericardium. Two layers are there, pericardium. This is outer layer of pericardium, this is inner layer, and in between those two layers, like this is, suppose this is outer layer, this is inner layer. In between that there is a fluid called pericardial fluid. pericardial fluid. Okay, so pericardial fluid is there. Then heart has 4 chambers, already you know. Okay, heart has 4 chambers. So upper 2 chambers are called auricles or atria. Atria, singular, atrium, because 2 are there, so we call atria. So upper 2 chambers, see, 1, 2, upper 2 chambers are called auricles and lower 2 chambers are called ventricles. Okay, so this is left part of the heart, left part, this is right part. So this will be left auricle, this is right auricle, this is left ventricle and this is right ventricle. No? 2 chambers. So upper 2 chambers are called auricles and lower 2 chambers are called ventricles. Here 2 auricles, 2 ventricles. Okay, then in the middle, you see that in the middle, this line, what you see, that is a dividing wall which separates left part of the heart from right part of the heart. That is called septum, and it is called interventricular septum. Interventricular septum. See, this is not an English word. Septa means cross wall or dividing wall. See, this is left part. If you divide in the middle, if you divide the heart in the middle, this is left part, this is right part. So this is a septum, like a wall which separates left part of the heart from right part of the heart. And septum is very important to separate oxygenated blood from deoxygenated blood, because left part of the heart contains oxygen mixed blood and the right part of the heart contains carbon dioxide mixed blood. They don't mix up, they are completely separated. Not even little quantity of carbon dioxide mixes with oxygen. They are completely separated. That is why it is called complete circulation. Okay, so left part of the heart is separated from right part of the heart by interventricular septum. Because why it is called interventricular? Inter means in between the 2 ventricles. You see that in between the 2 ventricles the septum is there. So it is called inter, means in between, ventricles, 2 chambers, 2 interventricular, septum means dividing wall. Okay. Then what brings oxygenated blood to the heart? You know that in previous chapter respiration you have learned that when we take oxygen, that oxygen goes to alveoli of lungs, then from there oxygen goes to blood, then blood containing oxygen comes to heart. Which part of the heart? Left part of the heart, exactly to left auricle. What brings it? It is brought by 2 tubes, what you see here, that is pulmonary veins. Pulmonary veins will bring oxygenated blood to left auricle, then left auricle will enlarge because it is muscular organ. When suddenly blood comes there, then it will expand. So left auricle will be filled with blood, then pressure increases there because it is filled with blood, and it pushes the blood towards downside, that is to the ventricle, but there is a valve there. Here in between auricle and ventricle there is a valve. Let me show by different color. Suppose this is a valve. Okay, valve is like a door, it is like this. So this is auricle and this is ventricle here. So auricle is filled with blood and it is pushing ventricle. So ventricle, with that pressure, it will open like this. Then oxygenated blood from the auricle goes to ventricle, then valve will close. So valve will close, and valve is there because backflow of blood should not happen. Backflow means from the ventricle blood should not come back to auricle. It is one way transport. Oxygen comes here, different color. I will show flow of blood in blue color. Okay, through pulmonary veins it came to left auricle, blood. Then oxygenated blood went to ventricle. Then the blood which went to ventricle doesn't go back, only one way, because the valve, when it opens and sends blood to ventricle, it will close. So again blood cannot come back from the ventricle. So here ventricle will be filled with blood, lot of pressure is there, so it cannot go on this side also because there is a double layered wall is there, pericardium. It cannot go to this side also because thick septum is there. It cannot go back also because valve is closed. It cannot come down here because here also it is closed. So only way left is what you see here, this tube. No, what is that tube? Here it goes to this tube, that is aorta, or you can say aorta. That is the largest artery. Aorta is the largest artery in the body. So in blue color, from the ventricle through aorta, oxygen mixed blood goes to all the body parts. Then from all the body parts, carbon dioxide mixed blood comes to right part of the heart. That is, you see here, it comes here. Carbon dioxide mixed blood through, this is inferior vena cava, this is superior vena cava. No? Vena cava. V-E-N-A-C-A-V-A. Okay. This is inferior vena cava, meaning the vena cava collects carbon dioxide mixed blood from the lower part of the body. See, below the belt, okay, lower part, legs, limbs. From lower part of the body it collects blood. Okay, then superior vena cava collects from upper part of the body. So carbon dioxide mixed blood through these two enters where it comes to right auricle. Same thing happens. Right auricle will expand, it will put pressure. Then again here also there are valves present, no? Door like a door, valves present. Then it will put pressure on the valve. Then valve opens and carbon dioxide mixed blood comes to right ventricle. It cannot go anywhere. Blood cannot go anywhere because backflow is not possible. Valve is there. What is the function of this valve? Valve is there to prevent, or it doesn't allow backflow of water. Means reverse flow of water is not possible. Only from auricle to ventricle. From ventricle it cannot go back. So only way left is what? Only one way is there, that is through, from the right ventricle, carbon dioxide mixed blood through what? Through pulmonary arteries. These two are pulmonary arteries. So through pulmonary arteries, carbon dioxide mixed blood goes to lungs. Once again I repeat, when we breathe in, when we take oxygen, it goes to lungs. From the lungs it goes to blood. Oxygen mixes with blood, and blood containing oxygen comes to left part of the heart through pulmonary veins, these two veins. Then from here it goes to left ventricle through this valve. What is that valve called as? That valve is called bicuspid valve. This is a particular name for valve present on the left part of the heart. On right part of the heart, that valve is called tricuspid valve, or you can say valve. Valve means, pipe will have valve to open water channel. Okay, you can turn water channel. So tricuspid valve. The reason is, cusp means, C-U-S-P, cusp means thin membrane like structure. Here this side it is called bicuspid. Bi means two thin muscular flaps. See, I am showing muscular flap is joined here, but this side it is three muscular flaps, like on one side one and one more is there here, then here one. So totally three. Tri means three are there, but common word used for both. As this valve is present between auricle and ventricle, it is called auriculoventricular valve. Simple. Like border present between India and China, we call Indo-China border. Like border which is present between Burma and India, Indo-Burma. no, border, like that. Okay, so here this valve is present between auricle and ventricle, so it is called auriculoventricular valve in general. Or you can say atrioventricular valve, because auricles are also called as atria. Okay, atrioventricular valve. The function of that valve is it prevents backflow of water, means it doesn't allow backflow of blood. It prevents reverse flow of blood. Okay, that is blood from the ventricle, it cannot go back to auricle. By mistake I said water, it is blood. Okay, blood. Here is water is not flowing, it is blood flowing there. Anyway, like we say, in my mind blood is there, but in my mind I am thinking about blood, but in mouth water came. This is a practice saying transport of water, so suddenly it came like that. Anyway, the function of valve is to prevent backflow of blood. So blood from the ventricle, it cannot go back, it is only one way from auricle to ventricle. Blood can come from only auricle to ventricle. Okay, then you should know that one special structure is there. Here I am showing yellow color, one dot, yellow color part, where it is present. It is present on right ventricle. Entry point means near the door of where carbon dioxide mixed blood comes there to right auricle. There at the vicinity or entrance of right auricle, one special part is there, that is called SAN in short. What is the full form of SAN? We will see now. SAN, that is sinoatrial node. Sinoatrial node. Okay, so here one more is there at the entrance of right ventricle. That is called AVN, that is atrioventricular node. Okay, atrioventricular node, AVN, atrioventricular node. Okay, what do you see in orange color here? This one I am talking about. It is present between auricle and ventricle, so exactly near the entrance of ventricle, so it is called atrioventricular node, one special structure. This is SAN, sinoatrial node, this is AVN, atrioventricular node. Together these two are called nodal tissue. Nodal tissue, these are the special group of cells, special tissue present on the right part of the heart. Okay, so what is their function we will see now, but before that I have to tell you something more than that. That is, you see that AVN branches, it branches. AVN, that is atrioventricular node, produce the fiber. Okay, that fiber branches, you see it branched here, it has divided into two like this. Okay, that is called bundle of His. Bundle of His, don't ask whose. It is named like that only, it is called bundle of His. Okay, then again it produces branches and it divides and goes to left and right part of the heart. You see here the orange color line I am showing here also and here also, because it produces two branches and goes to two sides. Okay, then it has produced many branches here, many branches, and those branches are called Purkinje fibers. Nerve fibers, branched nerve fibers, it is called Purkinje fiber. What is this tissue actually? Sinoatrial node, AVN, then what is this line? That is nerve fiber. Neurons, nerve fiber, thread like neuron, then it has produced a two branches here, that is called bundle of His. Then it will divide into two and produces many branches, many nerve fibers. So that nerve fibers which has divided and gone to both left side and right part of the heart, that is called Purkinje fibers. Name of the scientist. Okay, Purkinje fibers. Now I have to tell you what is the importance of this SAN. SAN, sinoatrial node. Sinoatrial node and AVN. Okay, important is they produce action potentials. Action potential means for pumping of blood, muscle, heart is a muscular organ, isn't it? Muscle should contract and relax. That's why you get sound lub dup. Lub dup sound we say heart, not lub dup. No, heart contracts, relaxes, contracts, relaxes. In 10th standard you have learned systole, diastole, contraction, relaxation. No, so lub dup. So for that action of contraction, relaxation of muscles, neurons should help, isn't it? Neurons are auto-excitable here, meaning without any stimulus they get excited, they produce action potential. Neural control and coordination, already you have learned what is action potential. You know what is action potential, no? That is in the axon of neuron. What happens? Sodium and potassium ions are important there. Okay, reversing of sign will happen, that is positive charge outside, negative charge inside. Then when sodium ion enters, when action potential starts, sodium ion enters and reverses the sign. Then potassium ion enters, then brings it back to same charge when there is no signal. When there is signal, sodium ion enters the axon and produces action potential, that is changing the sign. No, positive charge becomes negative charge there. If you remember, I have to this is the axon. What happens there, plus charge will be there and negative charge will be there here. Then when sodium ion Na plus enters, it reverses the sign here. A plus becomes minus, minus becomes plus. Then action potential started. That means neuron is sending a signal or message. Then when message is over, K plus ions enter, Na plus ion goes out, then it brings back to normal. So this is action potential. This will happen in normal part of the body when body has to send or neuron has to send a signal. And for sending a signal, it requires stimulus from outside. Stimulus means, suppose why I will turn and see somebody when they call my name. When they call my name, suddenly I will turn and see. That is action, no? Turning and seeing the person is action. For that, stimulus is required. That is the voice which called me, my ear heard it and sent a message to brain, and my brain said somebody is calling, so I turned and saw. So for this, action is required. Stimulus. Something which makes you to show response is a stimulus. No, suddenly I saw a lion in front of me, then what I will do, I will run as fast as possible because I want to save my life. That is action. For that, what is the stimulus? My eyes saw that lion, then message was sent from eyes to brain, and brain understood that you are in danger, run as fast as possible. Then I will start running. That is action. For that, some stimulus is required. Like I kept my hand on hot plate, then suddenly I will withdraw my hand because it is very hot. No, that is stimulus is hot plate there. But here, in case of heart, no stimulus is required. Nothing is required to show response. Naturally it shows response. Okay, heart is not under our control, it is self-controlled. So neurons present here, that is especially this SAN, sinoatrial node, that is a special nodal tissue, meaning neural tissue. Okay, they are auto-excitable. Auto means self. Excitable means they generate signal on their own. On their own they generate a signal. There is no space here. Okay, so sinoatrial node generates action potentials, meaning action potentials, that is sodium ion enters, potassium ion goes out, naturally without any signal, without any stimulus, okay, on their own. How many times? 70 to 75 times it produces action potentials. 70 to 75 action potential in a minute. So it is almost 70 to 75 action potentials per minute in 1 minute. In 1 minute, no, lub dub sound, that is heartbeat, 70 to 75 times in a minute. You may ask how it is self-controlled, how heart beats only 70 to 75 times in a minute, and what gives signals for beating. The signals are self-generated. The reason is SAN, this yellow color part what I am showing here, that is sinoatrial node. They generate signals on their own. So they generate action potentials, and that action potential is a message required for heartbeat. Okay, so it produces action potentials 70 to 75 times in a minute. That is responsible for action, that is heartbeat. So heartbeat is 70 to 75 times a minute. You know already this, in high school you have learned. In 1 minute, heart beats 70 to 75 times. On an average heartbeat is 72 times per minute. It ranges. In some people it is 70, in some people it is 71, in some people it is 73, in some it is 74, in some it is 75. So if you take average, then it is 72 times heartbeat is 72 times in a minute, in 1 minute. Okay, what is responsible, what controls heartbeat is SAN, that is sinoatrial node, by generating signals on their own, by generating action potential required for heartbeat. That is, it is creating its own neural control, neural signal. It is sending signal to heartbeat. Okay, for heart to beat, it sends signal. So it is also called pacemaker. SAN is also called pacemaker. Pace means, you know, maintaining same speed, heartbeat. Every minute it is heartbeat 72 times only. So what controls it? What controls heartbeat is SAN, that is this part, sinoatrial node. How it controls? By generating action potentials 70 to 75 times in 1 minute, and it sends signals for heart to beat. That is how it controls it. So it is called, as it maintains, as sinoatrial node maintains rhythmic beat or rhythmic contraction and relaxation of heart. So it is called pacemaker. Important. They will ask you for 1 mark, why sinoatrial node is called pacemaker? Because sinoatrial node controls heartbeat, or you can also say sinoatrial node controls rhythmic heartbeat or rhythmic contraction and relaxation of heart. Thereby it controls heartbeat. That is why it is called pacemaker. You know, sinoatrial node, if it is not proper or some problem is there in sinoatrial node, then they put artificial sinoatrial node, artificial pacemaker they put by operation. Okay, but that is what, you know, electrical device they put artificial, but it generates electrical signals continuously. Okay, it acts like a SAN, but it is artificial. But we all have natural SAN. We don't have artificial, we have natural sinoatrial node. Very important is, if you are living today, you have to say thanks to SAN, sinoatrial node, because sinoatrial node, without your demand, on its own it controls heartbeat, rhythmic contraction and relaxation. Even if you are sleeping also, heartbeat is continuous. It's a continuous process, and muscles are auto-excitable and they are restless muscles, cardiac muscles. You think if heart muscles take rest, then you will be in permanent rest. ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳೋದು ನಿದ್ರೆಯಿಂದ ಚಿರನಿದ್ರೆಗೆ ಅಂತ, ಹಂಗೆ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಲೀಪ್ ಟು ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಲೀಪ್. ಸೊ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ continuously beat starting from your birth till you die. Suppose you live for 80 years, for all 80 years without any rest, heart muscles continuously beat. They are restless muscles only because, and heartbeat is maintained 72 times in a minute only because sinoatrial node, because it controls rhythmic contraction and relaxation of heart and heartbeat. That is why it is called pacemaker. Okay. So with this human circulatory system, all the parts we discussed. Okay. So in our next class we will discuss cardiac output. Okay. So keep watching my classes. Thank you.